Hello and welcome to Herstory episode 10. We're finally on to double figures. This is really exciting and yeah, I'm very easily pleased. So today we're going to be talking about Matahari, which means Eye of the Dawn. Dancer, spy and the stuff of legend. Was she a cold, cunning, manipulative person, or was she just a naive chess piece in this massive political game? My words have left me. So, Margarita von Zell was her birth name, otherwise known as Matahari, otherwise known as Agent H21 of the German Secret Service. She was accused of causing the death of 50,000 French soldiers and met her fate in front of a firing squad on a cold October morning in 1917. Apologies. The dogs are playing this wonderful game today called Let's Sit on the Windowsill and bark at everything that's outside. So apologies if I have to pause a couple of times throughout this video to tell them to get down and shut up. So yes, Margarita Gertrude Zell, born on the 7th of August 1876 in Leeuwarden in the Netherlands. Honey, I said get down. That's my mum voice. I said get down. All the way down. Right down. Thank you. This is going to be a fun video. So she's born in Leeuwarden in the Netherlands in 1876 to quite a well-off family. However, things are going pretty well until age 13. Her father, Adam, abandoned her and her mother to go and live with another woman, that old chestnut. 2 years later, her mother, Antje, dies and she's sent away by relatives to train to be a teacher. However, she's very pretty, and a lot of people that she goes to school with comment on how pretty she is, and unfortunately age 16 she was expelled from this school for having an affair with the headmaster. So she moves to The Hague. She's bored, she's miserable, and she's looking for adventure. So she found a way out of the drudgery by responding to a Lonely Hearts column advert placed by Rudolph MacLeod, a Dutch colonial officer 22 years her senior, who is posted to the Dutch colonies in Indonesia. They're married in July 1895. Unfortunately, although she has all the excitement of going to Indonesia and experiencing that life way outside of anything that you would have experienced in Europe at the time, her husband's a bit of a dick. He's an adulterer. He likes to smack her about. He had numerous affairs. He was an alcoholic. She ended up having affairs with younger officers as well, and to top it all off, he gave her syphilis from a mistress, which infected their children, Norman John and Louise Jean. Norman was born in 1896 and Louise in 1898. Norman suffered with it very badly, and he was treated with mercury, but the doctor accidentally OD'd him, and he died aged 2 from mercury poisoning. That's terrible. That's horrendous. This is the last straw for Marguerite, and after returning to the Netherlands in 1902, her and her husband got divorced. But she did learn a few things from him. She learned fluent French, Spanish, Italian, German, and her native of Dutch, and she also learnt Malay while she was in Indonesia. She'd picked up beautiful exotic Indonesian dance moves that were absolutely captivating to a European audience. So that's what she did. She took those dance moves on tour because she looked quite oriental. That's probably the best way to put it. She was dark. She was very dark for a European woman. She had dark eyes, dark hair, and she had this very mystic kind of beauty about her. So that's what she did. She pretended to be Indonesian, and she took this dance routine on the road, and she performed in Paris, and she took on the stage name Matahari, Eye of the Dawn. So she's in Paris in the Belle Epoque, and stunned all of those she danced for. She'd perform in loose, almost transparent robes, stripping virtually naked. She would just keep like a metal bra on, and she would wear like a body stocking. So it appeared that she was basically naked from the waist down. Her celebrity absolutely soared. Her patrons repaid her favours with lavish gifts. And then World War I comes in, and this is becoming a current theme for everything I seem to research for Herstory. World War I seems to mess up everybody's story or change it significantly somehow. As World War I approached, the desire for her shows began to wane, so she took up an offer to move to Berlin and start her show there in June 1914. However, on the 1st of August 1914, Germany declared war against Russia, so her show was cancelled. And then on August the 3rd, Germany declared war against France, which stopped her from being able to go back to Paris. So she's stuck in Germany with no way of getting home. Absolutely fantastic. So what she does is she returns to The Hague. She's got an international, she's got a neutral passport because the Netherlands are not caught up in the First World War at this point. So she carries a neutral passport, so in theory she can travel wherever she wants, and that's one of the things that makes her useful as a spy later on. So she returns to The Hague, and in autumn 1915 she starts dating Carl Cromer, who recruited her to seduce top brass in the field and report back for 20,000 francs. Agent H21 had been born. She returns to Paris in January 1916 and resumed her old habits, dancing and liaising and schmoozing and basically acting as a bit of a courtesan to try and extract information from the French officials. However, she's being followed. She's being followed by a man called Captain Georges Ledoux of the French Second Office of Counter-Espionage. He was recording her phone calls, he was opening her mail, and generally trying to dig up any dirt on her that he possibly could. He did not like her. He thought there was something fishy about her. Now she meets a man called Vladimir de Maslov, undoubtedly the greatest love of her life, and possibly the only love of her life. He's a Russian captain, and he proposed to her. He goes off to the Western Front to fight, and while he's there, he's injured and he's blinded in one eye. So she requests permission to go to the Western Front and visit him and be with him. But first she needs leave to go. So she goes to Ledoux, and he proposed that she spy for the French, right? This is where it gets complicated. He wants her to seduce high-ranking Germans and report back to the French for 1 million francs. So now the Germans want me to report on the French, and the French want me to, yeah, okay, fine, whatever. 1 million francs, yes, please. She's used to living a lavish lifestyle at this stage. He sent her to Spain. She arrived in Madrid in 1916. She seduced a German diplomat, I've lost my place, called Arnold von Karl, that's it. It took only 3 days in bed with him for him to let slip a giant secret about a planned German and Ottoman naval invasion on Morocco. Germany opening a new empire in North Africa was huge news. She told Ledoux, who didn't believe her. Don't know why. So she tried to extract more information. But then von Karl becomes suspicious. So he sent a secret God, I can't speak today. He sent a secret radio mission. I'm getting excited. And I'm trying to rush this because I have very barky dogs and her story is so fascinating. But I'm just gonna chill for a minute. Get my words out properly. Okay, so the dogs have calmed down. They're on the lookout for me because very, very excitingly, I've ordered Goodnight Tales for Rebel Girls and apparently it's arriving today from Amazon. So I'm very, very excited. And I've asked them to keep an eye out and look out for the postman for me. Anyway, carry on. So she's told Ledoux about this German and Ottoman invasion. He doesn't believe her. So she tries to extract more information, and von Kaul becomes suspicious. So he sends a secret radio message to Berlin about her being a double agent. But the clever thing is, he uses a code that he knows the French have already cracked. So the message is intercepted by the French, passed to Ledoux, and in January 1917, she returns to Paris to claim her reward. She's dug up her information. She wants her 1 million francs. Thank you very much. And instead of getting her rewards, Ledoux says, no, 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 no. That was very French. No, 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 no. We found out that you're a double agent and you're getting nothing. And a warrant was issued for her arrest. Instead, she was taken to Saint-Lazare, Paris's harshest women's prison, and interrogated for 3 months. She was isolated and she was kept away from her lawyer. She wasn't allowed to see him at all. On the 24th of June 1917, she went on trial. She gave an amazing performance. I don't know the quote exactly offhand, and I really should while I've been researching this. But she said a very famous quote, something along the lines of, a courtesan, yes, but a spy, never. You know, she was like, I will admit to being a courtesan, yes, but no, never a spy. She gives a great performance, and her lawyer tries his absolute best, but it's a show trial from the start. France needed a scapegoat for the absolute massacres and failures at Verdun and the Somme and Passchendaele. And who better to scapegoat than a female foreign spy with loose morals? On the 27th of July 1918, the judge found her guilty of espionage and treason and sentenced her to death by firing squad. On October the 15th, 1918, she was driven to Vincennes, I hope that is right, Vincennes Castle. She wore her finest clothes and refused a blindfold. She even blew a kiss to the men standing in front of her in the firing squad. She looked them dead in the eye, defiantly in the face of death, and she died aged 41 with great dignity. So there we go, a really exciting story that takes place over a very short space of time. This all happens over about a 5-year period. So she was certainly one that burned bright and burned out very quickly. As usual, I've got some fun facts about Mata Hari. This is going to be a segment now of my show, which I really, really enjoyed researching. So I hope you guys enjoy listening to it as well. Mata Hari, she had no Middle Eastern or Asian ancestry whatsoever. Both her parents were Dutch. But boy, did she convince everyone that she was from Indonesia. Her daughter Jean also died from complications relating to syphilis at the age of just 21. That's really sad. Really, really sad. A French journalist wrote of one of her performances that she was so feline, extremely feminine, majestically tragic, the 1,000 curves of movements of her body trembling in 1,000 rhythms. She's often been portrayed as a femme fatale, dangerous, seductive and manipulative, but others view her as naive, easily duped, and a victim of men rather than a victimizer. Her body wasn't claimed by any family members. It was donated to medical study. Her head was embalmed and kept in the Museum of Anatomy in Paris. In 2000, when they went to look for it, it had disappeared and has never been seen since. Her sealed trial documents and the dossiers held by her on the French and the Germans were declassified in 2017 by both the French and the German army, and they make for some interesting reading. These dossiers are basically what painted her as a harlot, a spy, manipulative, cunning. And then when we look at the trial data and the trial facts, it just doesn't stack up. Finally, her life has inspired 5 movies, a TV series, 5 stage musicals, a ballet, an opera, a comic, and tons of books. So let me know what you think. Do you think Mata Hari was just caught up in a whirlwind of political nonsense during the First World War and didn't really know which side to take? Or do you think she was cunning and devious and knew exactly what she was doing at every stage? I find it difficult to believe that she was the master of her own destiny here. I think she was being pulled around by way too many people, and because she was beautiful and because she was seductive and because she knew how to use sex to get what she wanted, she was painted as a scapegoat and has gone down in history as a dangerous, cunning woman who used men, seduced them to get what she wanted. Let me know what you think. I'd be very, very interested to know what you think. What I'm going to be doing from now on is I'm going to be running a poll on my page every week as to who you would like me to do an episode on. So I will give you two options. This week's poll was Mata Hari versus Empress Matilda, and that was over on my Facebook page, the Herstory Girls, and nobody voted, so I chose Mata Hari. So please, if you would like to have a say in who comes next in my Herstory story, then please do go over to my Facebook page, the Herstory Girls, and vote for who you would like to see in next week's episode. This week, it's going to be Empress Matilda versus Marie Curie. So head over to my Facebook page and vote now. Thank you, and I will see you next week. Mwah. Bye!